وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. This is a chapter that presents itself as a specimen for comprehensiveness and brevity. Too vast in content, too easy for us to memorize. Perhaps every one of us has it committed to the memory. لو ما أنزل الله على خلقه إلا هذه السورة لفكتهم. Imam Shafi'ee said, if Allah had only revealed Surah Al-Asr, after it there is no any other revelation, it would have been sufficient for the guidance of humanity. I see men abusing their time and I cry out, can't these people give me their extra time so that I can read more of the kutub in my archive? Allah asks, فَأَيْنَ تَذَهَبُونَ? Then where are you heading to? Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah, once on the streets of Baghdad, in the marketplace, a man was selling ice block. And he was shouting, help me out, my capital is melting. If you don't buy this ice from me, the sun is so scorching that it melts away my eyes and my capital is melting away. This is my investment. Hassan al-Basri on one side married it with the concept of time. And he said, if this man's eyes is melting away, and he refers to it as his capital, and he's crying out loud for people to come and rescue him, not to destroy his capital, so also is the time that Allah has given us. Our time is our capital. Don't melt it away. This surah is introducing us to the concept of success and failure, using time as the focal point. The chapter I conveniently choose to refer to as a specimen for comprehensiveness and brevity. Too vast in content, too easy for us to memorize. Perhaps every one of us has it committed to the memory. But there is more to reach. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened it up with an oath he took. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Allah made a categorical statement, a general statement, an emphatic mention in no uncertain terms. Allah said, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Verily, inna, verily, with emphasis, إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Man is in loss. Man is in loss. Allah is not talking about the male species alone. Man here is using the general term. It's a collective noun. Man is referred to in a collective term here. Allah is talking about nations. Allah is talking about male. Allah is talking about female. Allah is talking about any of Allah's creation that fits to be called man. That you are in loss. This is a general statement. At first, every one of us is in loss. Al-Khusr. What is Al-Khusr? Great loss and destruction. Man is in loss. If you want to know what Al-Khusr is, you have to know the opposite of it. It is the antonym of Falah. In Surah Al-Mu'min, Allah is saying, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Verily, the believers are successful. You know, Al-Falah here means collective success in both the world. They are successful in this world, and so shall they be successful in the hereafter. Because if Allah has made you successful in the true sense of the word, we are not talking about superficial success. We are talking about people that are successful, people that know the essence of their creation, people that fear Allah as He should be feared. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. Those people that made a bold proclamation that Allah is our Lord, and they are steadfast upon that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made them to be steadfast upon. Those are the people Allah is talking about here. They are successful in this world and in the hereafter. So al-khusr here means destruction and failure in this world and in the hereafter also. Because true success lies in obedience, and this obedience is obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not to any of Allah's creation. Look at, man is a loser, man has lost, man has destroyed itself. Why? Because he hasn't yet maximized the use of his time to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Allah should be worshipped. He's wasted his time in other things. He's forgotten the purpose of his creation. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah hasn't created jinnat and mankind for nothing, but Allah has created the jinn and the mankind for them to worship Allah alone. And if you do anything outside this concept of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you are definitely a loser. But when Allah said that, then Allah now made a statement of relief to the believers. That, oh believers, calm down, calm your nerves. There is an exception to this rule. It's a general rule, but there is an exception. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Iman, the first quality is Iman. We have to bring Iman upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to believe in Allah. We have to believe in the unseen. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. They believe in the unseen because it's a daunting task upon our intellect and even our Iman, our heart, to believe in the unseen. Allah is existence. You have never seen Allah, but you believe in the existence of Allah. You haven't seen paradise, you believe that it exists. You haven't seen Jahannam, you believe that it exists. This is the first quality for the people that are outside the fold of these losers. So as believers, that is the first quality, Iman. Then A'mal Salihat. Travel through the world of Quran. You have never seen where Iman is isolated without A'mal Salihat. Your Iman, it's not authentic, it's not genuine, it's counterfeit, as long as it is not beautified or crowned with A'mal Salihat. That is what we are suffering from today in our societies. You have a lot of people that are talking about Allah. You have a lot of people that are written spectacular things about the religion of Allah. You have a lot of people that are saying ittaqullah, ittaqullah. But do they fear Allah? أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you enjoin upon people? Do you command people to do righteous deeds? Do you ask people to fear Allah and you forget about yourselves? وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ. When you have the kitab with you, you have read in Sahih Bukhari, you have read in Sahih Muslim, you have read in Quran, you have read the exegesis that have been written about the Quran, and you forget about yourself. Giving da'wah to people, you forget to give da'wah to yourself. You're just focusing, talking to people, energetic, talking to people, but you've forgotten to give da'wah to yourself. And the only way you can give da'wah to yourself is for you to act upon that which you have learnt. That is A'mal Salihat. Ibn Qayyim again said, those who learn and act not upon their knowledge, they exist not in Islam. Only those who learn and act upon their knowledge, they exist truly in the sense of the word. They exist in the fold of Islam. A percentage of what we've learned is good enough to change the society we're living in today. What can we offer? Allah is going to ask us. A'mal Salihat, You have to couple your iman, you have to couple it up with good deeds. These two qualities are individualistic in nature. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. They are focusing on the individual. Now a shift in Quranic paradigm to a collective responsibility towards nation building. After Iman, A'mal Salihat, individual responsibility, then Allah said, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Mutual exhortation of one another to truth, justice, equity, the fear of Allah. You know, after talking about time, Wal-Asr, then Allah is telling you, within this time, as an individual, you have to work upon your iman. As an individual, you have to act upon your knowledge. Then if that one is achieved within yourself, then Allah said, mutual exhortation of one another towards al-haq. What is al-haq? Anything that is just. Anything that is just is Islam, because Islam itself is a religion of justice. You call upon people to be truthful. You call upon people to be faithful. You call upon people to be sincere. You call upon people to be mindful of their duties to Allah. You call upon people not to play with their salat. You call upon people to give their zakat. You call upon people to fear Allah, to appear as Allah wants them to appear. You call upon people to be proud of the gift Allah has given them, the gift of Islam. You call upon people to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You call upon people to enjoy good and forbid the evil that is prevalent in our societies. Allah's disobedience was prevalent in your society. What was your contribution? Was it all cool that I attend the masjid? I see myself on the first row of the masjid when my sisters and brothers are still playing with their salat? Is that all cool? All is not well if you are a believer. And that's what I keep telling brothers and sisters. When we keep impressing upon you, keep your beard, brothers, sisters, put on your hijab. I tell you, a sister, I'm not going to wear hijab. Hijab is for you. So when I tell you to put on your hijab, I'm just showing you the Islamic law that Allah has kept in us. Brother, I've already kept my beard. So when I ask you to keep your beard, I'm just exchanging the Islamic law that Allah has kept in us. I'm just discharging my responsibility, my duty as a believer. When I tell you, come on, what you're doing is not right, this is the right way to go about it. Fear Allah and do it. But again, remember, Luqman al-Hakim was advising his son. He said, Ya Bunayya, do not come to people with an image of piety. Do not approach people with an image of piety. وَقَلْبُكَ فَاجِرٌ لِيُكْرِمُوكَ بِذَلِكَ. By virtue of your appearance, they see you with the beard, they see you with the raised trousers, they see the sister in her hijab, perhaps she's wearing a niqab. They respect you by virtue of your appearance. So let it not be that you have kept this image, whereas your heart is evil. Deep inside, when no one is watching, you commit the most erroneous sin on the face of earth. When no one is watching, you disobey Allah. A day is coming, Yawma Tagabun, the day of mutual loss and profits. That is the day of Qiyamah. Those who believe in Allah and fear Allah, Allah is going to reward them with Jannah. Those who disobey Allah and fear not Allah, Allah is going to punish them with hellfire. And Allah said, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. As-sabr, you don't only ask people to be on the path of righteousness. Allah said, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You have to couple it up with patience. In Surah Al-Maryam, Allah is saying, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allah is the Lord of the heavens and the Lord of the earth. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and everything that is in between them. فَعَبُدُوا وَاسْتَبِرْ لِعِبَادَتِي. Worship Him and be patient while worshiping Him. You have to be patient while worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have a sabr ala ta'a, as-sabr ala ma'siyah, as-sabr ala al-bala. three categories of sabr. Patience in ibadat, in worshipping Allah. The guy wakes up at night to perform tahajjud. He looks around, his brother's enjoying his sleep. Deep inside he wants to sleep, but he remembers تَتَجَافَى جُنُوبُهُمْ عَنِ الْمَضَاجِعِ. He remembers the verse of Surah Al-Sajdah. Their backsides forsake their beds at night. They stand up at night to observe the night vigil. He is patient. He knows that Allah is going to reward him. He knows that a day is coming when Allah is going to reward him for all this sleep. He is stubborn. So he is patient in Allah's obedience. The guy wants to eat, but again, is interested in the reward that is kept for those that are fasting. So the guy fasts. That is as-sabr and the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have patience ala bala, when evil afflicts you. In Surah Al-Ankabut verse 2, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do men believe that by their mere utterance of the fact that we believe in Allah, we put iman upon Allah, Allah is going to leave us just like that without testing us? تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. That is it. To ascertain among us who is best indeed, who truly believes in Allah. I used to say, you think you have iman, wait till my Allah test you. Sahih Bukhari Kitab al-Janaiz, a woman was sitting in front of the grave of her son, and she was crying, lamenting, and the Prophet ﷺ was passing her by, and the Prophet ﷺ stopped and talked to her that isbir, isbir, isbir. The woman said, no, I will not observe patience. Is it because you are not the one that is afflicted? I lost my child and you're telling me isbir, isbir. And the Prophet ﷺ passed her by. Later she now knew that it was the Prophet ﷺ that was talking to her. She now rushed and went to the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ said, as-sabr inda sadamat al-ula. Patience is that which was observed at the first moment. It is not when you have tried all your possible best and nothing is coming out, say, I will observe patience. No. In the sadmat al-ula, when it happens, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Then the prayer that the Prophet ﷺ said you should pray. May Allah give you something better in exchange with that which has afflicted you. So you have to observe patience. When evil afflicts you, and patience, the last type of patience is as-sabr ala al-ma'siyah. This is the most difficult type of patience. As-sabr ala al-ma'siyah. Patience in disobedience. That guy that is not committing zina is only not able to commit zina because he's patient. That guy that is not stealing from other people is only doing that because he's observing patience. We have to be patient, not to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the man that is committing zina is not patient enough to wait for his legitimate partner. And that is why the person is committing zina. So where is the patience? So we're talking about as-sabr al-ma'siyah. When your ego provokes you to go into that site, that haram site, that pornographic site, when your ego provokes you in the darkness and the deepest recesses of your room, then remember the gaze of Allah over you, that Allah's gaze is over you. That is as-sabr al-ma'siyah. You have to be patient. You either switch it off or you go out of the environment. When your ego provokes you to pop that pill, to take that drug, Remember, Allah loves you more than that ego of yours that wants to destroy you. Remember the love of Allah. Remember the punishment of Allah, and remember the reward of Allah. As-sabr al-ma'asiyah. Observe patience. Remember, there are 4 qualities. If you are exempted from any of these qualities, proportional to how distant you are from these 4 qualities, that is the level of your destruction and the level of your loss. Remember, the first 2 are the first 2 qualities of Iman and Amal Salih. The last is mutual exhortation of one and all to the truth and to patience and endurance. My last message for now, inshallah, is strive your utmost to strike a balance between your material quest and your spiritual quest. Brothers and sisters, value time now by worshipping Allah in it before you are made valueless by time.